Welcome back to Action Drama Recaps. Today I'll be sharing a story with you. We hope you enjoy it. Our story begins with a married couple fighting one night where the husband had just found out his wife was cheating on him with another man. Now that doesn't end really well when the husband grabs a vase and smashes it onto his wife, killing her in the end. Realizing he had acted out of anger, the husband quickly goes to check if his wife is still breathing, but unfortunately, she's not. Shocking this guy. Just then, a neighbor who's angry with all that noise they caused all night knocks on the door. He threatens them by saying he'll call the cops if they don't open that door. So this terrified husband grabs a TV remote, turns up the volume, and quickly drags his wife's body and hides her away. He then wipes away whatever evidence is there of that sinister crime and removes his messed up jacket, throwing that in the washing machine. Finally, he opens the door and his neighbor immediately scolds him. The husband's all sorry for the TV being loud and tells him that he and his wife just moved in, seeing that they're new tenants. His neighbor lets him off with a warning and leaves. After that, the husband goes to remove his prints from the vase, but after he does, he sees another one on his countertop. That confuses him, but he quickly ignores it and goes to the washing machine to check on the evidence he left inside. But strangely, his jacket had mysteriously vanished. Right away, he checks on his laundry basket, doesn't find anything. Fearing someone might have stolen that evidence away, he decides to put a piece of clothing in the washing machine to see what happens. And after he turns it on, he waits for it to finish. Once it's done, he's shocked to see that the clothing had disappeared. This guy then lets out this evil grin. He goes and he takes his wife's body and puts her in this magic machine. He turns the washer on and it shakes violently as the husband waits anxiously. Finally, after a few minutes, it's all done, and the guy goes to check on it. To his relief, he sees nothing in here, and now had successfully escaped manslaughter. After that, he leaves his apartment to calm himself down, but while he's walking, he stumbles upon a white piece of clothing on the ground, with a body underneath it. Fearing that it's his wife under there, he lifts up the cloth and he's horrified to see his wife's lover instead, unalive. Suddenly, another piece of white clothing falls onto him, and he removes it from his head, seeing that this was the one he'd placed in the washer before. He then looks up and sees his wife's body falling from the sky, landing on him. Turns out his wife had taken out her lover before her husband took her out. Now this tale begins with a woman in a formal outfit sitting in a bus, distracted with her thoughts. Just then she sees a pair of red socks and black shoes and looks up, seeing an old man in front of her. She immediately gives up her seat to him, and the old man thanks her for her kindness. In the next scene, we see this woman knock on a glass door, attending a job interview. As she's nervously sitting down, she notices the interview is wearing a pair of red socks and black shoes. She immediately thinks it's the old man from the bus, but unfortunately, when she looks up, it isn't, and the interview begins. Sadly, it didn't go too well for her, as it looks like she's disappointed. But just then, the cleaner, who happens to be the old man from earlier, thanks her once again. He asks her how the interview went, but she tells him that she didn't get the job. So the old man tells her that she can do it, and everything will be all right. The woman thanks him and walks away. Suddenly, the interviewer from earlier runs down and starts calling out to their boss. They ask him why he's cleaning the floors again. The woman thinks it's the old man she helped earlier, but unfortunately, the men go to a different cleaner, disappointing the woman. Now, as the big boss is walking back to his office, he turns and calls for his brother to return back with him. This once again brings hope to the woman, thinking the old man from earlier has to be the big shot of the company. But again, another man pops out of nowhere in response to him, disappointing this woman again. But all of a sudden, the big boss's brother calls out to the president of the company and tells him to stop messing around too and head back with him. Our woman gets excited, thinking there's no one left to claim this identity, except for that guy she knows. But an even older man appears from behind the concierge and agrees to go back. All the men head back to their offices. This funny tale ends with both the woman and the old man looking at each other. Now this story starts off with a man buying some fish balls from a street vendor. But just then he spots a pretty girl and instantly gets drawn by her beauty. However, his fantasy gets interrupted by a hungry dog asking for some food. The kind man gives over his fish balls and the dog leaves. However, little did he know, the dog was extremely touched and grateful by his actions. So the next day, the dog starts scaring off drivers trying to take a parking spot in order to reserve it for the man when he comes on by later. When the man's at work, the dog would keep watch of his car and would chase birds away, preventing any poop from landing on that thing, which confuses this guy because the neighboring car is completely filled with poop, while his isn't. In the following days, another dog goes to pee on this man's car, but the grateful dog chases him away and even goes to a nearby tap and washes the man's car for him. The next day, this man tries reversing his car but goes onto a metal fence, and the dog comes to his rescue by barking at him, causing him to stop in the nick of time. The dog also chases away anyone who uses the man's car as a mirror as well. Now, one night, when the man's heading back to his car, the dog decides to steal his bag and runs away with it. The man quickly chases him and finally manages to catch up, but to his surprise, he sees the pretty girl from days ago beside him and instantly gets mesmerized. Unfortunately, her car had broken down, and she tells him she needs a ride back home. The dog barks at him, and the man immediately offers to help her out. The man then looks down at this dog and realizes that his one-of-a-kind gesture had led him to find love. Our last story begins with some robbers sneaking into a bank hoping to steal some money. However, they're not very discreet, as this cleaner easily spots them crawling past them. The robbers then go to the safe and start breaking in. But what they don't know is security guards are watching them from CCTV cameras. But strangely, they don't do anything to stop these guys. After some careful tweaking, the robbers successfully open the safe. However, the leader gets all surprised when he sees no money, but some bottles of white liquid. One of the guys here thinks it's yogurt, so they all decide to eat it as to not waste their efforts. Turns out these bad boys actually went to a sperm bank. We want to thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe for more awesome recaps.